The 39th President of the United States, Jimmy Carter, was born in rural Georgia in 1924. Peanut farming and devotion to the Baptist Church were mainstays of his upbringing. After graduating from the Naval Academy in 1946, Carter went on to marry Rosalynn Smith. After serving 7 years as a naval officer, Carter returned to his hometown of Plains, Georgia. He first entered the political world in 1962, serving in the state Senate. 8 years later, he was elected governor of Georgia, an office he held from 1971 to 1975. After 2 years of campaigning, he was nominated as the Democratic presidential candidate in 1976. With running mate Walter Mondale, Carter beat out President Gerald Ford to take the White House. Speaking to the crowd in his inaugural address, he expressed his hopes for the country.
I would hope that the nations of the world might say that we had built a lasting peace based not on weapons of war, but on international policies which reflect our own most precious values.
His time in the Oval Office was marked with highs and lows, with the last 14 months of his presidency being perhaps the most controversial. The Iran hostage crisis saw 66 American diplomats and citizens held hostage for 444 days. The Soviet Union invaded Afghanistan, and Carter led the controversial boycott of the 1980 Summer Olympics in Moscow. But his tenure as president was also marked by accomplishments. He created 2 new departments, the Department of Energy and the Department of Education, and he helped calm tensions in the Middle East with the signing of the Camp David Accords. But in the end, his popularity had diminished too greatly with the American people. He lost his bid for re-election to Ronald Reagan. His time after the White House was put to good use. He established the Carter Center in Atlanta in 1982 and used that as a base for advancing human rights.
So I've been kind of humbled in getting to know people around the world and to see that, in effect, all people on earth are the same in the eyes of God, and should be in the eyes of each other, equal and worthy of respect and care and, I would say, love.
His work abroad won him the 2002 Nobel Peace Prize. In an interview with USA Today, Carter revealed what he hoped his legacy would be.
Human rights and peace would be the 2 things that I'd like to be remembered for, as well as being a good grandfather.
The fundamental force that unites us is not kinship or place of origin or religious preference. The love of liberty is a common blood that flows in our American veins.
The bond of our common humanity is stronger than the divisiveness of our fears and prejudices. God gives us a capacity for choice. We can choose to alleviate suffering. We can choose to work together for peace. We can make these changes, and we must.
I've had a wonderful life. I've had thousands of friends, and I've had an exciting and adventurous and gratifying existence. Well, the best thing I ever did was marrying Rosalynn. That's the pinnacle of my life.
So I'm going to live again. After I die, don't know what form I'll take or anything, but I have confidence that there is a God, that He's all-powerful, that He keeps His promises, and His promises life after death.
Well, the best thing I ever did was marrying Rosalynn.
Former First Lady Rosalynn Carter was literally the girl next door for former President Jimmy Carter in their hometown of Plains, Georgia. But it was years before they became something more. The two started dating while he attended the U.S. Naval Academy. He knew he wanted to marry her after their first date. They tied the knot the summer he graduated.
That's the pinnacle of my life.
They were inseparable despite moves from naval station to naval station, then back to Georgia to take over the family farming business when Carter's dad passed away. They stuck together from the campaign trail to the White House, where the First Lady was also an envoy and advocate for mental health.
Speak out and get people talking about mental illness so that everybody in our country can realize that it's just an illness like any other illness.
After leaving office, the couple founded the Carter Center in Atlanta and volunteered across the globe.
I'm proud that he stands for human rights and peace all over the world.
They always came back home to Georgia and their family.
He's a good father, good grandfather, good great-grandfather.
I would say the haven for our lives has been in Plains, Georgia. You know, I was born there. My wife was born there.
A lot for what he's done for our little town, and we just want to respect that and keep his honor him for many, many years.
When I got out of the Navy in 1953, I came back to Plains. When I got through being governor, I came back to Plains. When I got through being president, I came back to Plains. And now, no matter where we are in the world, we're always looking forward to getting back home.